All right, now let's talk about the large project. This is past the small project, which I dictated to you. The large project is more in depth and gives you a lot more latitude. You can make a lot more decisions for the large project. So the first thing I want to say is congratulations on finishing the small project. I know that at the very beginning of the semester, I call it the deer in the headlights week. A lot of you were like, I have no clue how to do this. I don't have these skills or whatever. And I know that I gave you a demo in class and I taught you the basics of the skills, but most of it was you learning. And I know that at the beginning of the semester, I said, you're going to learn a lot more than I will teach you. And that's true. And this is what's going to happen to you when you get into senior design and when you get out into a job. You're going to have to figure out how to figure out stuff when you don't know it. So I really do. I've got to hand it to you. Most of the projects were really good, and you got it done. Some of the things that were really nice were pagination. Some of you were able to paginate your like search results. Some of you did the single key press search. Some of you did lazy loading, which was really cool. I love that, of course. So I have all I have is praise for you right now. The fact that you were able to get this project done, and it was all really good, and you learned the technology, and you, I mean, really, I know a lot of you came to me during office hours, which is great because I could answer your questions, and that's sort of in the future, don't like hesitate. I'm always there to answer your questions and help you through stuff. So anyway, I'm totally I want to give you all the credit. This was really good. Okay, just some reminders here. I think this first bullet point everybody did. You have to turn in your PowerPoint before your presentation. Please don't zip it. If you do, then it really doesn't get any smaller because PowerPoint's already zipped under the covers. And that way, if you don't zip it, I can read it within web courses. So you're allowed to change teams now. I know some of you had teams that worked flawlessly together, and that's great. Stay with it. If it works, stay with it. I know that other teams had real tensions, and so this is a really good time to change. Yeah, and I realized that me assigning the teams the very first project was not good. I get that. I take responsibility for that. But now you have the chance to really find the people who you can work well with. And normally, we're in class, and I give you the last part of class to find your teams. Unfortunately, it's Monday after the hurricane, and so you're going to have to use the Discord the class Discord to find your teams. What I'd like to do is, if possible, that you have your teams formed by Wednesday of this week. And on Wednesday of this week, I'm going to give you a fire hose lecture on getting started with the MERN stack. So anyway, I know that on the last project you were required to use a domain name. The same thing here, but we're going to be using Heroku, and Heroku actually gives you a really easy way to, you don't really need your own domain anymore. You could actually hook up that old domain that you bought, but Heroku automatically gives like a yourdomain.heroku.com, so you're not going to have to worry about buying another domain or using the same one. You can, but you don't have to. One thing you might want to do is remember to cancel your DigitalOcean droplets. And the team size from this point on is going to be anywhere from 8 to 9. And the reason for that, the reason this changes is because now we have a mobile component, and so it's going to take another. I would suggest, assigning 2 people to the mobile, maybe 1 person on database, 2 people on API, two or three people on front end, one person on project management, and two people on mobile. So that's how I'd probably do that. So I know that I have already talked about team dynamics, and already, so I give it to you, like 80–90% of your teams worked really great, and no problems there. But I did have some groups that actually really had some losers in the groups. And I know I already talked about team dynamics. So what you want to do is try to do your best for this project to avoid those team dynamics issues. You need to observe this whole idea of do what you say you will do, DWSWD. And that's a Senior Design 2 topic, but it's still appropriate to this this course. So I was a little bit I was more lenient first project on this, but I'm going to be a real I get really mean when it comes to this project and people who don't do their job. Be respectful to team members, even if one person knows everything. Split the work. I had a student at one point who he'd worked for Cisco for 30 years, and he so he just rolled over everybody and he basically did everything. And that's not the way this is supposed to work. What you're supposed to do is spread the work, even if you know how to do it. Let the person do their job. And I know a lot of you on the last project waited to get started. You waited way too long. You waited like 2 or 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden, oh, I got to get it done. And so that's a really good recipe for having a poor project. So the project requirements are as follows. You have to use a remote database, and in this case I'm asking you to use MongoDB. You have to have some sort of a remote API, and in this case you'll use Express, which I will show you on the next class we have. You need to have some sort of a web app, and that's going to use React. Now, so a mobile app, you can use iOS, Android, or cross-platform, such as Flutter or React Native. The thing about this is I give you actually more choices. So in the web app, I say using React. You can actually use Vue or Angular if you want. And also on the remote database, I'm saying I'd rather you use MongoDB, which is what I'm going to show you. But you can also use, you can really use anything, Postgres, MySQL, whatever. But I'd rather use MongoDB. So there are a lot of documentation requirements, a Gantt chart, an ERD, use case. Those are the 3 from the first project. And Swagger Hub, you have to use that. I need for you to use either a sequence diagram or an activity diagram. And I need for you to create a class diagram. And this is almost always going to be for the mobile app, because the web app doesn't really lend itself to this. I'm going to require you to use unit and integration tests, and I'm going to show you this. I have a lecture on unit integration tests. And I'm going to require you to use prototypes, wireframes, and I would recommend using either Figma or Adobe XD. I know a lot of you on the last project did this, but now it's a requirement. Alright, so I already mentioned that I prefer that you use the React JavaScript framework, but at the same time you have the ability to use Angular or Vue, and they're both really good. I like them both, and they both do the same thing. It just takes a little bit longer to learn them. You also are going to have to use some sort of Bootstrap library. I know last project I said it'd be great if you use Bootstrap, but you're required to use some sort of Bootstrap library for this project.